Should a real estate agent advertise on the radio? Really? We'll get into it. Hey folks, Todd Tramonte here. And the question that we're answering on this short video is, should a real estate agent advertise your business on the radio? And the answer is 4.69 all over 2a squared. It's a difficult answer. It's different for different people. For most people, the answer is not now. Okay, for most people, the answer is you should probably not advertise your business on the radio right now. Now, if you can get to the point of scale, where you can afford what I would call kind of the cash flow cycle, the time it takes to get a return on your initial cash investment, knowing that there will be additional cash investments. So when you can actually begin to be profitable, takes some time on radio. Let me give you a quick example just so that makes sense. Let's just say that you're in a smaller real estate market where you could spend $2,000 or $3,000 a month on radio. You would need to be in a small market to do that. Small market means smaller audience. So the budget should be, consistent with the size of the audience and the number of people that could hear your message. Let's say you're spending $2,000 or $3,000, right? So let's just call it $2,500. $2,500 in January, then February, then March. Now, the way radio works in most areas is it's probably going to be March or April before you start to see any real significant response, because in January, people were barely even recognizing what you were saying. In February, they might have started to notice, hey, I've heard that a couple of times. By March or April, depending on the frequency and how many ads you're running, people might start saying, yeah, I know that person. Yeah, I've heard that ad. Yeah, I know what they do. And then, and only then, the very small chunk of that listening population who actually needs what it is you do might begin to respond. Then it might be a month or two before you sign those clients, or if you sign them right away, before you have offers and close on those listings, or get buyers to the point of being prepared to make offers and close on those purchases. So in a really optimistic scenario, it's probably 5 or 6 months in before you begin to see some return. Now remember, 5 or 6 months in, based on the $2,500 a month math, is now $15,000+ into this investment approach. So for that to be profitable, you need to be able to afford that 5 or 6 month ramp up, and then probably another 3 or 4 months before the returns start to catch up with the investment. So it could be a year or more before overall this begins to turn a worthy profit. Now, it doesn't always take that long. My recommendation would be you need to be prepared for it to take that long, because it makes sense. It's not like it's failing in the beginning. It's just taking time to become recognizable, trustworthy, and worthy of a response. So that being said, I'm not going to take it off the table for anybody, but I'm going to take it off the table for most people right now, because most residential real estate businesses are typically not in a place where you might have 6 to 12 months of additional marketing spend saved in cash for potentially disposable budget, for the potential to lose it. Now, who is radio good for in real estate? Now, again, sometimes it's kind of a meshing of opportunities. If I was in a small to mid-sized market and nobody in my market was advertising real estate on radio, that would be near the top of my priority list to work my business towards being able to do that. But if I was in a small to mid-sized business where I was unbelievably profitable and I had virtually all the business I could handle by repeat and referral business, I probably wouldn't do that because it might not be consistent with my business model. And upfront, I say visible, but present in the marketplace type marketing might not be consistent with a personal get to know you relationship, one relationship at a time type business. But if you're looking for some scale, and you have the budget and you're looking to grow lead generation over a large geographic area, most radio stations, either FM or AM, reach a large listening audience. And I'm drawing a circle like over a map, like mileage wise, radio signals carry a pretty good way. So if you only work 1 or 2 neighborhoods, radio doesn't make a lot of sense. If you work 5 or 6 zip codes and you're in a small to mid-sized market, that's great. If you're in a large market like I am in Dallas, Fort Worth, our radio ads go halfway into Oklahoma and almost all the way to South Texas. And at night, you can hear our radio stuff in California. That sounds insane, but it's complicated how some radio stations have to turn their signals down at night. We're on one of ours that doesn't. So it's a long story, but General answers, most agents shouldn't do that. Specific answers, if you're ready financially to do that and you have a clear, compelling message. That's another big piece of this. I would never go on radio and say, "Hi, my name is Todd. I sell real estate. Give me a call. I'd love to help." No one cares. That message does not cut through the clutter of advertisements and music and DJs talking and, weekend events and car dealers and all this crazy stuff. You've got to have a message with a hook, and it can't be so gimmicky that it's totally unbelievable, but it can't be so boring that it's utterly believable but not interesting. I believe you need a unique selling proposition or unique value proposition or a call to action or a hook that grabs someone's attention and says, "Man, that almost sounds too good to be true, but I'm going to call and check that out." So anyway, there's a lot of different ways to look at that. The other thing I would say about radio, and I could go on and on forever, but to wrap this video up, is if you're doing radio advertising, never settle for just radio advertising. Once you create that content, an ad or a segment or a recorded conversation or whatever it may be, that's going to run on the radio, and then it's over. And unless you pay again, it will never be on there again. So you can take that audio and repurpose that with a YouTube video, a SoundCloud audio, social media, email campaigns, live events, photos of a scenario like a studio or whatever, and then repurpose that in your other advertising. Have you heard us on, blah, 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 8:20 a.m. or whatever it is, and repurpose that marketing all over. So anyway, I hope this video has been helpful. I feel like I've been a little bit all over the place because there's so much to talk about under this topic. But to wrap up, I'll say there's a lot of really successful agents using radio. Some of them are not even profitable with it. So be careful when you see the big shiny object and run towards it. I will say, though, I believe it's a great media for real estate advertising if you have a clear, compelling message with a great call to action and you can communicate it effectively, especially if you're in a market where radio can be done somewhat affordably. If you're not really sure if this applies or makes sense for you, comment below or reach out to me. Our contact information's down below this video somewhere. I'd be happy to talk through that with you. We do some coaching and consulting for agents all over the country. So if you're interested in getting a listing a week in your business or a buyer week in your business, head over to alistingaweek.com, alistingaweek.com. There's a whole free video series there. There's also some paid stuff if you're interested in that. But head over to alistingaweek.com, subscribe to this channel, like the videos you like, share the ones that would help other people, click that little bell, and when we make new videos, you'll know about it. I'll talk to you on the next one. Take care.